ToonGrin.
Nero Reviews is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Hey, Cthulhu! I'm back from the Walmart. Went down there with the $5 just like you told me to. I did you one even better, buddy. I picked up a movie from the $5 bin. Oh, come on, Squid King. How bad could this movie possibly be?
No, I can't stand the pain. How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading away.
You ever wonder how some movies ever get made in the first place? Me too, but you know what? I'm not going to answer it with this. I'm out of here. Good night, everybody.
I'm just a walking my dog, singing my song.
You know what? On second thought, I'm going to treat this review sort of as a warning to let people know why this movie sucks so bad. So let's sit down, possibly grab some alcohol, and enjoy Jock, the hero dog. Now, personally, for me, there's only one hero dog, and that's Crypto. Crypto the super dog. That's epic win right there. This is not epic win at any caliber. Let's begin the review now, shall we? So the movie opens up, and just watch the opening and let me know if it looks familiar to you.
This is a country of an infinite dimension.
Still not making a connection? What if I put this music over it? Yeah, that's right, they are blatantly ripping off the famous Disney classic, Rescuers Down Under. I'd say that this is the one thing Disney-related that they rip off, but there is a musical number. And when that musical number shows up, I'll be sure to show it to you, and you will hate me for it. But for now, a heavy-handed message from our movie.
So young, and you think you've got all the answers. Only life was that simple. Before our time, men lived in harmony with animals. We could communicate and understand one another. But men wanted more. Men wanted control. You animals will pay the price.
Oh yeah. Was that heavy enough for you? Now remember this guy, Baba. He will be our Rafiki allegory for later. So, located in South Africa is where our movie takes place, just so we know where we're at. Now, let's meet our main character, Jock, or at least you'd think he'd be the main character. I mean, the movie's only called Jock the Hero Dog, and yet somehow the movie seems to aim more focus on his owner than the actual dog himself. This here is Jock's owner, Percy Fitzpatrick, voiced by Donald Sutherland, who was also narrating the entire movie. Now, I use the term narrating as loosely as I can, because Donnie Sutherland felt the role didn't need effort in it. I mean, just listen to his narration.
He was as brave and as reckless as the day was long.
He sounds so dead in his line delivery, you'd swear a zombie was doing the voiceover. Now, while this is playing, I'm gonna go get myself a nice alcoholic beverage to soften the blows, if you will. Please excuse me while you enjoy this bullshit scene.
What's a runt, Mom?
Oh, where did you hear that?
They were talking about me.
It just means you're small. It's not how big you are on the outside. It's how big you are in here. Your father was the smallest. The others teased him, called him the runt. He became the bravest and best of all.
Oh, that's good. You know what the sad part is, guys? This is all we got about Jock's dad. That's it. That one line of dialogue. We never see the character throughout the course of the film. He's mentioned that one time, and that's it. And, you know what? They don't even say what happens to him. He just, like, was some kind of great hero or something. I guess he died from the fatal off-camera-itis. Oh, and don't worry about the bitch over here. It's just Jock's mom. She doesn't really do much. She's maybe in the movie for like 10 minutes at best. Really, she's just here to die later and trick us into feeling stuff. And I hate being tricked into feeling stuff. It's unmanly. But I'll cover that crap when we get to that scene. And now, because I want to segue into the most awkward part of this movie, here's a chicken voiced by Ted Danson.
Yeah, I'll take care of you, little buddy. It'll be fun. We'll see the world, have adventures, get tattoos.
Pezzaloo.
I don't want a tattoo.
Oh, you're in good hands, puppy. Well, actually, they're wings. Well, they kind of look more like claws, but don't worry. They don't hurt. They're just feathers. In fact, I can't really pick anything up with them at all. I usually have to use my feet to grab things, and, well, uh-oh.
What kind of performance is this? No, seriously, what direction was Ted given? Honestly, half the time it seems like he's just rambling into a microphone. It's like they took the video, muted the footage, and then just said, Ted, go, and then he just went to town on it. Not to mention his character, Pazuzu, does not further the plot or is developed at any point in the movie. Hell, at one point he just vanishes from the film completely and just pops up towards the end. It's like some kind of ghost chicken or something. I mean, he's basically the Jar Jar Binks of this film. As a matter of fact... Eddie, yeah! Son of a bitch. Anyways, Fitz leaves with Jim, a tribal warrior, and despite Jim having no development at all throughout the entirety of this hour and 20-minute long movie, he is without a doubt my favorite character. I'm serious, the guy's optimistic, kind-hearted, and a warrior. Sounds good to me. Hell, the dude can be telling me we're gonna be marching right into Mount Doom, and I'd be all pumped and be like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit! So after hearing being called a runt by Fitz, oh yeah, I guess the animals can understand human, sure, why not? We can officially now label Fitz douchebag for life, and Jock runs off, and is shortly thereafter snatched up by an eagle to be eaten. Now you might think I'm being a bit hard on this movie, that I'm being a jaded jerk, looking at it with an adult mindset and not letting my mind, you know, take in the atmosphere. Well, shut up and listen to how Fitz is a douchebag.
I didn't see the point in chasing after him. How could he survive?
Fitz don't care, and if Fitz don't care, then why should we? I mean, if Fitz was the villain, it would make sense, but he's supposed to be Jock's owner, and yet he doesn't care that an eagle is trying to kill and eat this puppy.
Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
Now to my disappointment, it turns out Jock does manage to escape the eagle, so that means this movie is going to have to continue. Can't we get something to raise my spirits a little bit on this movie?
What's that in your mouth, you dirty scavenger? Well, I never. Where'd you come from? What are we gonna do with this, Snarly? Won't survive out here. Might as well put him out of his misery now.
This scene just comes out of nowhere. Seriously, Jock escapes the eagle, and then is captured by this insane Australian's dog, and then it's followed up by this scene.
Might as well put him out of his misery now.
You know what's funny? This movie was greenlit as being family-friendly. Just look on the cover, it has the Dove seal of approval. It means it's approved for kids. Now, I wonder, how could this begin to earn that when in less than 15 minutes, the protagonist, who I remind you is a puppy, so basically a baby, has nearly been murdered twice now. Now, the eagle one, I'll let it slide a bit. I mean, it's the circle of life for God's sakes, and it's an eagle. It's not like it's inherently evil. It just wants to get a bite to eat. Makes sense. But the Australian, Claude, no, that is his name. I'm not meaning to insult him. That's the character's name. But you know what? He is a Claude too, I guess. He sees the puppy, and his first response is this. So after retrieving his dog from a mad Aussie, Fitz suddenly loves him. Yeah, that's not the only forced romance in this crap, trust me. So Fitz and the gang are off to Crook's Corner to get supplies for the gold rush. Yeah, I guess this is during the time of a gold rush, but so barely mentioned that the plot can be dropped and nothing would change. I mean, the gold rush plot is for Fitz's character, not Jock's, so it has no purpose. Also, I guess the trip to Crook's Corner is extremely far away, because we get a montage to show Jock growing up to adulthood as they head there.
There's a world that's waiting and a destiny. Gotta get out and grab it. Won't you come with me? I'm on my way,
Okay, now I'm not a fan of Lion King. To be honest, I pretty much hate it. But the Hakuna Matata scene makes sense. It was showing Simba's connection to what basically became his adoptive parents in Timon and Pumbaa. This scene, however, feels like they needed an excuse to age Jock. If Jock needs to be older for the story to work, then don't start him off as a puppy. Why not just start him off as a young dog that needs to learn the ways of the world? Why would you start him off as a puppy for the first 10 minutes, only to rapidly age into adulthood in what was a 5-minute long montage? Okay, so here we are at Crook's Corner, a small shop owned by a man named Mr. Seedling. Here we also meet Seedling's pet baboon, George.
George, the famous fighting baboon of Crook's Corner. George had toured with the circus in his early years and fought against dogs in wagered battles. He never lost a fight.
You know, with a few changes, this movie easily could have been called Michael Vick's Jock the Hero Dog. There's about enough animal abuse to go around. And by the way, guess who the villain is?
Jock, he's my dog. Cleverest dog you'll ever meet.
Blow me down. It survived.
Oh, and if the villain wasn't too obvious for you, take a look at the love interest.
Stay close.
Oh, Miss Morris. How are you, love?
Wow. I detest this place.
So Fitz meets and instantly falls in love with Lillian. Just then her father walks into the place making a bet. See, to further cement the cruelty to animals bit we have going on as a theme for this movie, we're gonna see a race where monkey jockeys ride wild boars. So of course, hijinks ensues as Jock and the chicken go to where the boars are being held. See, Lillian's dad is rich and he bet on the boar wearing a blue bandana to win the race. So Mr. Seedling, being the asshat that he is, decides he's going to fix the race.
Let's make this a handicap race.
The thorn. Why do you do that?
Well, that's the color Fitz bet on. He'll lose all his money.
What are you looking at? Get away from here.
You look forward to shooting.
Why did Seedling even change the bandanas if he was just gonna stab the pig in the hoof? I honestly don't see how this can get any dumber.
The pig can't race. Seedling stuck a thorn in his foot.
A thorn? How do you know?
Is it bad?
Oh, no. Oh, no. You'll be fine. Here. Bite on this. How's that?
God, I just want to wrap my lips around a Glock right now. This Billy Crystal sounding wannabe is Basil the Monkey, voiced by Mandy Patinkin. And he does nothing. Oh, it's not entirely true. I mean, he does one thing, and we'll get to that later, trust me. So Jock takes the place of the boar that was injured and wins the race. And afterwards, Basil invites him to the after party. Now, you remember that musical I mentioned earlier? Yeah, here comes the pain.
What? See, that's it. Now listen to this catchy song, my little chippy canine chump. They're pointing out where you went wrong, and to join that race was dumb. And worse than that, you had to go and win, which was tactless and insane. You so don't get the mess you're in. For my chorus will explain. It was coming first that blew it. And anyway, it wasn't up to me. Jackie George is gonna throw a fit. I told you. I warned you. You shouldn't have done it.
There's cheating going on.
You know, it's funny, you could apply those lyrics to about anything involving this movie. I mean, for example, this movie being made in the first place. Hiring voice actors to perform in this movie. Me actually making a review for this movie. I shouldn't have done it. So after that quote-unquote musical number, Jock returns home and is reunited with his mom. But this is short-lived as we learn that a leopard had just killed a girl in the village below the mountain. So now Fitz and the gang are going to go and hunt for the leopard. And to save you unnecessary padding, I'll cut to the chase. So Jock and his mom find the leopard. On their own, of course. They fight the leopard and Jock's mom receives a fatal injury. Jock fights the leopard on his own and then it just falls off a cliff. Then they have a funeral and bury Jock's mom under what looks like a pile of elephant dung, but that could just be the poor animation quality. And what really chokes me up, mostly with laughter, is that they are actually flashing back to events what Jock and his mom had together. What's funnier still is that some of the crap they're showing us isn't even in the movie. Again, I refer to you to Lion King, where we see Simba interact with his father before he was killed, thus building a connection, not just having a minor speaking role then bringing the parent back just to die. Oh, but it gets better. By the time Fitz gets to the gold rush spot, all the gold has been mined out already. I guess we shouldn't have done a montage that took like 5 years to get to a crap shack for tools then, huh? And to compile more coinky dinks, word got back to Seedling that Jock killed a leopard, and he wants Jock to now fight George for some quick cash.
George, I preach the good news. Our little dog has killed a leopard. He's a local hero. Well, even you're afraid of leopards, George. I am gonna set up some fight. Happy days are here. Leopard must have choked on him.
Okay, how did Mr. Seedling know that Jock even defeated a leopard? I mean, he lives in the middle of nowhere in a shit shack in Africa. He doesn't even have things like a phone or, internet access doesn't even exist during the timing of this movie, so I don't even know how the hell that happened. Maybe he was contacted by a cup and string? I'm gonna take this. Hello? So, while Seedling prepares for the fight, Fitz has apparently caught the eye of Lillian's dad, who, despite lack of much screen time together, has taken a shine to the boy, and offers him a job as a delivery boy. Wow, Fitz, you're sure moving on up in the world, aren't you, buddy? So Seedling arrives, and get this, he tries to actually goad Fitz into getting Jock to fight George.
Now ask yourself why he raced. I mean, why he challenged George. Bold as brass. No, well, he's fed up with being a runt. That's why he wants recognition. And it seems you want it too.
What? No.
Oh, yeah, the whole town's heard your stories, huh? He killed a man-eating leopard. Well, looks like you've set a challenge, Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Okay, how did he get the flyers made up so fast? Or, hell, more importantly, why is he promoting an illegal sporting event? So Fitz says no, and Seedling handles it well. He kidnaps Jock in the middle of the night, but Jock escapes, then meets Baba's spirit.
Baba?
You are free. Now it is time to choose.
How can I? Everything I've done has gone wrong. I lost my mother, made everyone here suffer. Fitz lost everything because of me. And now Snarly?
Mistakes are the price we pay for knowledge.
I cannot beat him, Baba.
It is time. Your mother is with you.
And then after that, Jock just goes back to fight George of his own accord, which makes the whole escaping thing pointless and to pad out the movie. One would argue that this is the most disappointing part of the movie, but it's not. This is.
I'm not the one who chained you up, beat you, made you fight. You're free. Now it's your time to choose.
Get in, George. Come on. What are you doing, George? Come on, you worthless ape.
It's up to you.
Yes, the not a gun ploy. You know what? Let's analyze this, okay? First off, George was set up as the big bad for Jock to face. So having them get into a confrontation and then talk it out is incredibly anticlimactic. Second, if George is the victim of animal abuse, show, don't tell. It's a movie. It's a visual medium. This movie hasn't had any qualms with showing animals being treated poorly, so why wuss out now? Third, you can't just decide in the last act you're gonna make a bad guy sympathetic, especially when earlier in the film, George not only tries to strangle monkeys in a cage, but he also tries to kill Basil by feeding him to crocodiles. And you know what? This is how they actually decide to end the movie. George pushes Seedling into croc-infested waters, killing him. I guess. We never actually see him once he falls in, so we're just gonna assume he's dead. Then George just goes off into the wild, which he could have done countless times throughout the course of the movie, since he is frequently shown with no leash on, so the whole needing to be free thing is pretty pointless. Fitz gets together with Lillian, I guess, and Jock gets together with Polly, I guess. And then the Force Ghost of Baba is there, I guess, and then the movie is over. And lo and behold, another family film failure. Jock the hero dog. Wow, this movie is shit. Don't let the advertisement fool you. Just because it's a Walmart exclusive doesn't mean it's a deal. When this movie isn't ripping off more successful films, mostly from Disney of course, it's being stale and boring. The voice acting is horrible and shows no signs of effort put into it at all, and the CGI looks like crap. Also, this movie goes pretty damn dark. I mean, sure, Disney movies have death in them, and I'm a firm believer in that a child can handle serious tones, but this movie just revels in animal abuse and cruelty, and really there's no message to it, other than it's just there for the sake of being there. Also, an interesting fun fact is that this movie is based on a children's book. Now, I don't know what it is, but it seems if a film is based on a children's book, and it's not somehow done by DreamWorks, Pixar, or Disney, then the adaptation somehow manages to really suck. I guess I could recommend the book that it's based on called Jock of the Bushveld. Now, I haven't read the book, but I'm sure it's better than this crap. And hey, really, reading is a lot better than watching this movie, so you'd be doing your kids a favor by giving them this book to read anyways. I'm Nero and Jealous, and what the fuck is wrong with Ark Entertainment?
I'm just walking my dog, singing my song, strolling along. It's just me and my dog, catching some sun. We can't go wrong. My love was lonely and blue. Yeah, I was sad as a sailor. I was an angry one too. Then there was you appeared when I was.
Hey, Nero Knights, thanks for watching. Now, if you want to stay connected like the hip, young, fly, groovy cats of today, head on over to facebook.com/nero.angelus.3. You can also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NeroAngelus. And if you got a request, send it on over via my email at Nero_reviews@ymail.com. So go on, do it. Please? If I don't get enough followers, Cthulhu will break my legs. Lord Cthulhu, no!